Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Now I am going to show you saw the pictures at the beginning. Now you're going to be quite shocked that no, you're not going to be shocked. Sandra made this. My sister Sandra made this. 3 simple stitches. UK double crochet, treble crochet and double treble crochets. We did 26 rows that made the path wind round this way, then 26 rows around that way, and that made the scarf wind like a snake. And we've just called it a winding road scarf. It's like a windy little road. It's really pretty. I'm going to show you how to do this and explain how it was done.
So this is the yarn that Sandra used. It's a ombre yarn, all these beautiful shades of green in it. It's a 200-gram ball. It's chunky yarn, and she bought it in Aldi's. It says that it's an ombre yarn. It's by Knit and Purl, but it is a Sew Crafty yarn, and that's Aldi's in the UK. It's really a beautiful yarn. It's nice and thick and chunky.
So I'm going to show you how to do this with this pretty purple aran. This is a Stylecraft special aran yarn. This is an aran. The other one was chunky. Now this is doesn't tell you what weight it is. I think aran in the UK is a 4 weight. It's telling me to use a 5mm crochet hook, and that's what I've got here. I've got this tulip crochet hook. This is a 5mm. If you're in the USA, it's a 8/0 if you're in the USA. I love this crochet hook. It's just nice, and it sits just nice in your hand. I love that gold hook on it. Anyway, we're going to use a Stylecraft special, and this is an aran yarn, slightly thinner than that other one, just to show you that you can use any yarn in any thickness that you want for this. It says this is proper purple. Proper purple. The shade number is 1855. Just make sure that if you're buying more than one ball of yarn, make sure your die lot numbers are the same on all your yarn that you're buying. If you're using one colour, make sure all your die lots are the same. So the stitch count for each section of this is 8. 8 for your UK double crochet, 8 for your treble, and 8 stitches for your double treble. Then you're going to add 1 on. If you want to make a wider scarf, you can try 10, 10 and 10. If you want to make a smaller scarf, then try 6 or 7, 6, 6 and 6. Each section of your stitches has to be the same number of stitches to get that curve in your scarf or your wrap, whatever it is that you're making. So I'm going to stick with the 8 just to show you what this looks like. So I'm going to do yarn over, and you pull through your loop, and that makes 1 stitch. So I need 24 stitches. That is 3 times 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. Make sure your stitches are not too tight. You don't want it tight on the end. 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's me got 8 for my UK double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. So I've got 24 stitches. That's a nice number and a nice width of scarf. I'm going to crochet 1 more stitch, just 1 more stitch. Now into the second stitch, come down a little bit. Into the second stitch in your chain, you're going to do a UK double crochet. If you're in the USA, this is a single crochet. So yarn over and pull through your 2 loops. That's 1. Into the next one, that's 2. To the next one, it's 3. Into the next one, that's 4, 5, we need 8, 5, 6, 7 and 8. Now what you can do is you can put a marker here. I'll get some stitch markers. We'll need 2. You can use a piece of thread if you don't have a stitch marker. So in to that last stitch there, that's number 8, that stitch, I'm going to put a marker. You can keep these on all the way through your crochet, just keep moving them up row for row. I've got another one for the next slot. Now you're going to use UK treble crochets, so yarn over and into the next stitch and do a UK treble crochet. 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, through 2 loops, yarn over and through 2 loops. So that's 1. We'll do another UK treble crochet, that's 2. We need 8, that's 3, that's 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. Now that's my number 8 stitch there. That's my number 8 stitch. So I'm going to put a marker there. So I should have 8 stitches left, and we're going to do UK double treble crochets. Yarn over your hook twice, 1 and 2, into your next stitch. Pull your yarn through and you've got 4 loops on your hook. Yarn over, through 2 loops, yarn over, through 2 loops, yarn over and through 2 loops. So that's 1 stitch. Yarn over twice, through the next stitch and pull through. Yarn over, through 2 loops, yarn over, through 2 loops, yarn over and through 2 loops. Now it's these big stitches that makes it fan out on your scarf. So that's 2. We should have 8. That's 3. Yarn over twice into the next stitch. That's 4. Yarn over twice into the next stitch. Just push it through the next stitch in your chain. Pull through, yarn over, through 2 loops, yarn over, through 2 loops, yarn over, through 2 loops. So we have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That one's 7. We should have 1 stitch left. If you don't, that's our little knot that we did. So we've got 1 stitch left. If you've got more than 1, just pick it out. Through 2 loops, yarn over, through 2 loops, yarn over, through 2 loops. So I've got my sets of 8. I've taken my stitch markers off because they're rattling it around too much. But if you're counting your 8s, you should be able to do this. And an easier way to know how many rounds that you're doing, you need 26 rows to do a bend in your scarf. So for your next row, you're going to chain 3, 1, 2 and 3, just the 3. If you do 4, it'll be too tall and it'll be really wavy along the corner of your scarf. Chain 3 and turn. Now you're going to count 8 stitches down. So yarn over twice and into the next stitch. So that chain is your first stitch. So that's 2. Yarn over. That's 3. Yarn over twice. Through the next stitch. That's 4. That's 5. 6, 7 and 8. So I've got 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Into your next stitch, you're doing UK treble crochets. If you're in the USA, these are double crochets for you. Into the next stitch, we're going to do 8 treble crochets. That's 1, and 1 into the next stitch, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. Then we're going to do 8 double crochets, so straight through the next stitch, pull through, yarn over and through 2 loops. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 1 into that last one is 8. So that's you've got, if you're doing it different colours, that's you've got one section done. So this is where you'll cut your yarn if you want and add your next colour and do 2 rows of your next colour. It'll be beautiful as a peacock scarf if you do this all in purples and blues and lilacs and greens, emerald greens. So if you want to do a row count, I've done 1 and 2. So we need 26. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you can mark off the rows if you do them, if you're doing it all in one colour. If you're doing it in different colours, like I said, do 2 rows and change your colour. So I'm not going to change mine, so I'm going to chain 1 and turn. So we're going to do 8 double crochets along. So when you do a double crochet, you're going right in to the very first stitch when you start with a double crochet. So go right in to there. You've got 2 loops, yarn over and pull through. So that's 1 into the next stitch, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we've done 8, so we're going to change to UK treble crochets. So yarn over this time and do 8 treble crochets. 1, 2, into the next stitch, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. Then you're going to go up to your double trebles, yarn over twice and do 8. Multi's just woke up. That's 1 into the next stitch. It's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, got a stitch there, 7, and we're going in to the third chain here. 1, 2, so count 1, 2, 3 chains and in to that stitch for number 8. And this is what you've got. It's starting to go around. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Now when you chain 3, you're just going right into the next stitch. Don't go in there. you're going into the next stitch when you're doing your chain 3. So we're doing 8 double trebles. So that's 1, 2, and 3, and 4. Oh, I need to mark off that row. I've done that row. I need to mark that one off. And then this is row 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 stitches. 5. And you'll just continue like this till you've got 26 rows done. And if you're doing it in coloured sections, you'll need 13 coloured sections. That's number 8. Just count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then 8 trebles.
So I've got my first section done and I've done 26 rows. You can, if you want, do 28. I might have to do 28 on it if I want a bigger bend in the scarf. So what we're going to do now is, where you've done your big stitches here on the end, we're going to start doing the big stitches here. So they'll go the other way, and that's going to make your scarf bend in the other direction. So we're going to work our 8 double crochets along these smaller stitches. So that counts as 1 and that one's number 2. So we need 8. So that one's 3. Yarn over twice. Remember your yarn over twice for these bigger stitches. That's 4. Through that stitch. That's 5. Get some more yarn. Always make sure you've got no knots in your yarn. So this one is number 6. So we're just turning it, and we're doing it the opposite way from the 8 double crochets, treble crochets and double trebles. Now we're doing double trebles, trebles, and we'll do doubles. So now we're going to do the 8 treble crochets. That's 2. This one's 3. Then 4. We need 8. 5. Now the middle section is always treble crochets. So I've got that one. I'll take that out. There we go. So your middle section will always be your treble, UK treble crochets. Go. So we'll continue to do our 8 here. That's 8. So these last 8 stitches you're going to do the small double crochets. In the USA these are called single crochets, but in the UK they're called double. So you're just pushing your yarn through, so just small stitches, yarn through, yarn over and pull through. So we need 8 of those. That one's number 7, and right into the top of this chain you do your number 8. You're going to chain 1, and that's not a stitch. Don't count that as a stitch. So just turn your work, and we'll work back down with 8 double crochets. So go into that's not a stitch, so go right into that very first stitch for your double crochet. That's 1. Then 2. Oops. Just work your way down. It does get a little bit longer and harder to work as you go along. It's not harder to work, it's just harder to hold. We'll work our way down, and this is what you're going to do for your next 26 rows. So we'll go up and we'll do the treble crochets. If you're in the USA, these are double crochets for you. I like to say both the terms because there's people all over the world that watches these tutorials. So we'll do 8 UK treble crochets, and then we'll change to our, we'll change to our double trebles. So I've got my 8 UK doubles, 8 trebles. We're going to twist it around like this. These big stitches are going to make it bend around, and it'll go in the opposite direction. So we've yarned over twice this time to do these UK double crochets, double treble crochets, sorry. And if you're in the USA, I think these are called double trebles. Oh, there we go. We'll just work our way to the end, and then we'll do 26 rows. We'll just mark them off in the paper one row at a time so we don't get lost. But you can just count these big stitches at the end. Just make sure you've got 26 rows done. But you may have to do 28 because this is aran yarn. It's a bit thinner. I'm going into the top of that chain. It's a little bit thinner, so you may have to do 2 extra rows. And there we are. So we've got our first bend with our 26 rows. I'll bring that camera up. That's your first bend there with your 26 rows. And then this one, I'll start to bring it round like that little snake, that little windy path will come round this way. And if you're using double knitting yarn, you might have to do 30 rows. Just work it, have a look at it and see when you're doing it if you think that you need to do extra rows on it. Remember your 3 sections though. You're just doing your 8 stitches for each of your sections. And look at this, it looks so pretty. So I'm going to continue with this yarn, and I'll do my 26 rows and I'll come back and show you what it looks like. So I've got the 2 sections of my winding road done. What I had to do was, when Sandra did this, she used chunky yarn. So the bend in her road was quite dramatic because it was thicker yarn. This is thinner yarn, so instead of doing 26 rows, I've done 28. And then I changed and I went in that direction. You still change and go the direction that I showed you in the video just that little bit earlier. But I've done 28 rows. So if you use an aran yarn or even a double knitting yarn, with double knitting is even thinner, you may have to do 30 rows to get that nice round road shape like this. So I've got this first section done and this second section done. What I would do now is, you need to do another 3 sections. I think an odd number of sections will be fine with this. That way you've got 2 sections hanging down the front. You'll have a section for your neck, the back of your neck, and then 2 sections to go down the front on your left side of your body at the front. Once you've done the amount of rows that you want to do, whether it's 26 or 28 or even 30, depending on the thinness of your yarn, I'll bring my camera back down like this. What you'll do is, you're going to start the next section. So we're going to go back to have these double crochets here this time, and then it'll fan around that way. So you'll do your chain 1 and turn your work, and you're going to do, I'll do 28 rows because I'm using aran yarn. If you're using chunky, do 26 rows, and if you're using a double knitting, I would try 30 rows. So into the very first stitch, because that stitch isn't counted when you're starting your double crochets, don't count that little chain 1 that you did. So go into the very first stitch, and that's 1, and you'll just continue the pattern the way you've been doing it. 8 of each stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8,
and then you'll do your treble crochets, your UK treble crochets. You'll do 8 of them, and then along here you'll do 8 of the bigger stitches, you'll do 8 of the double crochets, and you'll do 26 rows if you're using chunky. If you want to do that, you can use 26 rows with aran, but I found that 28 rows with the aran was much better. It gave me a much better circle in the road, if you know what I mean. There was it's a better bend in the road. It's a more softer bend in this scarf. So you'll continue with sections of however many rows that you're going to do. You need to do at least 26 rows to get that bend. So just once again, when Sandra done it in the chunky, she did 26 rows. I've done it in the aran, and I ended up doing 28 rows for each of the bends. You can, if you want, make this thicker or wider or shorter. Just adjust the stitch sets. The stitch sets on this one is 8. 8 here, 8 here, and 8 here for that bigger stitch. If you're in the USA, that's a single crochet, a double crochet, and a treble crochet. If you're in the UK or anywhere in Europe, it's a double crochet, a treble crochet, and a double treble crochet. It's that big stitch, the way it fans out, makes that beautiful turning in your scarf. And like I've said, I think 5 sections will be fine for a scarf. So if you want to put a fringe on, I'm going to cheat and use my mobile phone here. And what you'll do is, you're just going to wrap your yarn around, that's long enough for a fringe. Wrap your yarn around until you've got quite a few strands. Just cut your yarn. Oops, I need better scissors. And carefully, you can just slip it off. Just slip it off. You can use anything to wrap that yarn around. Just cut over one section. I'll put my phone over there. And what you have is all these little loops. You've got all these little loops. And then what you can do, you can either take 2 at a time, or you can just do it with 1. I'll bring this back down. So to do your fringe, put 2 of your loops together and half it like that. Take your crochet hook and put it through your first stitch. Put it through the loops of the yarn and pull it through like that. Now either with your fingers, just pull those strands through those loops and then just give it a pull. Push it down here. Don't pull it like that because you'll stretch your stitch. Just get it and push it in. Take another 2, and this is how you'll do your fringe. You can neaten it up to the length that you want it. Go through the next stitch. I'm going to try and catch that little part of the stitch that goes across there. Push my hook through. It'll make it more stable. Pull through. Now you can just loop it all around and pull it through those loops. Don't pull it like that, you'll stretch your stitch. Put your fingers here in front of the loop and then pull it down. Just pull it down like that, and that will make those little loops secure. And you can do a little fringe all the way along the bottom of your scarf like that. I'll put that back up again. So you continue your fringe on either side once you've finished it. And I will put some more pictures up of the one that Sandra done. And I'll put a little picture up of the way that this one is folding. This is really nice. This is more compact because it's an aran yarn. It's not as thick as the chunky, obviously, and I've used a 5mm crochet hook for this. This is a tulip 5, UK 5mm, or I think that's an American size 8 there on that one. I'll leave a link to these. These are really comfortable. Look at this. These are really comfortable. They're not too long. They don't stick out and they're really light. And that gold, whatever that is that's on there, that gold is amazing. And you get a really nice point in your hook as well. You get a nice point here and you get a good grip in the hook part there. And there's plenty on that shaft for you to do your crochet as well. I like these. These are really nice. And I need to thank the ladies that were sending me these. And I need to thank Karen. And Karen was sending me these all different sizes of the tulip ones. And there's quite a few. Glynis sends me hooks. She sent me Knit Pro hooks. And my friend Pauline, she sent me some hooks as well. And it's amazing. Look at this. It's brilliant. That's a good hook. It's great with that aran yarn. And that is how you do the Winding Road scarf. It's really pretty. So thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe to my channel. And if you click on the bell icon, then YouTube will tell you when I put up another tutorial. So until the next time, happy crafting. And I'll see you all again soon. I've got another little idea about doing all that fan shape. All that is really lovely. So until the next time, happy crafting, and I'll see you all again soon. Goodbye.